Haha. Hello again, everybody. Zack Attack is here, my WWE Raw review for tonight. Monday, October 17th, 2016. From the Pepsi Center in Denver, Colorado. Head towards down that road to Hell in a Cell, but also towards the immediate future as well. Besides that, long-term future. Heading down to Survivor Series maybe, as we got the, as you see from my towel at a show, the return of Goldberg was one of the many highlights of an okay water night, heading towards several events. It was until the Goldberg segments. This was a pretty decent war. Some okay action, some okay things. Kind of slow going war. Then Goldberg came. Boom. What a moment that was. Probably one of the best comebacks of the year that would probably rival Shane McMahon's comeback. Now, Shane was more of a surprise than Goldberg's was. Goldberg was, advertised in advance, so you knew he was coming back. But still, it was an awesome moment. I'll get to the Goldberg moment in a little bit. Before we get to that main event segment, let's kick off from the beginning. Although tonight was the Goldberg show, well, it's technically the Kevin Owens show. Or the Kevin and Jericho show. They both came out to open up Monday Night Raw. And another fun segment involving these two best friends. But there might be some quiet tension brought in the air. Especially the fact that Kevin Owens did not save Jericho from a pedigree from Seth Rollins 2 weeks running. And Owens is like, well, I got to have you take one for the team. I got to be the healthy one. You got to be the one to take the hits. As they were talking about Rollins, especially heading towards Owens' match in Hell in a Cell, interacting with the fans a little bit, adding a lot of people, including the bad referee, to the list of Jericho, following the bad officiating during the Rollins-Jericho match last week. Great main event. Rollins came out saying Jericho should add a lot more to your list. Your bad hair, your scarf, your... Hey kids, the word of the day is Sparkle Crotch. Yep, kids, repeat after me. Sparkle Crotch. God, Rollins, gold, buddy. God, that was funny. Cheesy but funny. Hell, better than one of woman's cheesy one-liners. Like, people were chanting it throughout the night, especially during Jericho's match, a rematch against Seth Rollins. But Owens got a little bit involved last week, distracting Jericho instead of distracting Rollins. So Jericho made Owens go to the back. And for the most part, Owens stayed in the back. And we had a decent match, not as good as last week's match, but still was a fun, decent matchup between two great guys. Where Rollins gives the big flying moves, big suplexes and kicks. And Jericho gave it a lion salt even many times, trying to put Rollins in the walls of Jericho. Rollins tried to set him up for a pedigree again. And during one of those times, Owens, despite Jericho telling him not to come out, Owens did come out. He did try to help Jericho, as at one point Jericho did have the walls of Jericho locked in on Rollins. Rollins was trying to get to the ropes, and Owens was pulling the rope away from Rollins to refuse him to get in the break. The referee caught him, and that was the beginning of the end. With that, Rollins went for that pedigree again, but then Jericho would counter with Enziguri. It would set up the code breaker, but he got caught. Set up pedigree, nailed this time. 1, 2, 3, Rollins wins again. And Owens and Jericho were bickering about the fact that they were not on the same page tonight. And that Jericho said, I didn't want you out there. And they didn't be on the same page for various reasons. For one, Stephanie and Mick Foley accepted the challenges from SmackDown Live that there will be 3 traditional Survivor Series matches, multi-branded, at the pay-per-view. Guys against guys, SmackDown guys against Raw guys. SmackDown women against Raw women. and the tag teams against the tag teams. I would predict probably the guys would see Jericho and Owens, maybe Sami Zayn, if he's not hurt by Braun Strowman by then. I'll get to that in a minute. There's some other people. Tag teams, obviously, you'd see like New Day, probably, American Alpha, Usos. We haven't seen like a 5-on-5, 5 tag team against 5 tag teams since probably like the early days of Survivor Series, like 87, 88. So it'd be cool to see that match. And women's match, too. Becky would be involved. Alexa, and really underline the fact that Raw's women's roster is not as strong as SmackDown's women's. Raw has the better women wrestlers, but stronger roster. Women's roster is definitely SmackDown. But another reason why they have to be on the same page. We thought we would see a triple threat Hell in a Cell match. That was the original plan before Balor got injured, when we Balor, Jericho, and Owens at Hell in a Cell. But it was changed to Rollins and Owens, and we almost saw a triple threat happen with Jericho losing to Rollins. If he would have won, it would have made, storyline-wise, a triple threat. But that triple threat will happen next week on Raw in Minneapolis, Minnesota. As well as the New Day going in a non-title match against Cesaro and Sheamus, basically giving us the Hell in a Cell match on free TV. Non-title. But before we see the shenanigans of the odd couple team of Sheamus and Cesaro, we saw a couple interviews throughout the evening involving Charlotte and Sasha being interviewed by Lita about their involvement in the first ever women's Hell in a Cell. I don't expect like craziness, like a moonsault off the cell, which I'm hearing Vince McMahon already shut down from Charlotte. But I still expect a great matchup in the Cell match. And how poetic that Lita was interviewing them both. She was the first woman to main event Raw with Trish, and the first woman to be in a women's cage match. The only women's cage/cell match was Lita and Victoria in 2003. And if there's any other women's cage match on TV, not counting Hell in a Cell, because this is the first Hell in a Cell with women in it, let me know. But it's cool to have Lita do the great interviews from both women, putting the time and effort. Yes, they're the only women they're focusing on right now, as I just mentioned. The Raw women's roster is not as strong. It's always focused on Shawn and Charlotte, but they deserve top billing. They're all the best, and I've been applauding them for about a year and a half now. I've been wanting this feud for so long on the main roster. Let these two have an epic feud on the main roster, and they are having a moment right now. Get to be the first 2 women ever inside Hell in a Cell. No matter the cynics, like Eric Bischoff, they're going to have an epic match, no matter what. Because it's going to be a moment. It's going to be history. Now, on with things that should be history. The Shining Stars and their gimmick, and Titus O'Neil's gimmick, making the win. Trying to come back from back-to-back losses against Sami Zayn, and losing last week as well. Tries to come back with the Shining Stars in a 6-man tag against the Golden Truth and Mark Henry. The crowd was good for the most part, but they were dead during this match because nobody cares for these guys, especially Shining Stars, trying to overcome their gimmick. After a feud with Enzo and Cass, they're now floundering. You know, they have nothing going on. Same with Golden Truth. Especially, hey, since Fandango, Breezango went to SmackDown. Where the hell are they right now? Where the hell is Breezango? We haven't seen their asses in a while on SmackDown. Come on. Bring back Breezango. Anyhow, okay, a little matchup with Titus O'Neil getting the pin in this matchup. He got pinned by Mark Henry. Watch fucking slam. Okay, a little 6-man tag with the Golden Truth and Mark Henry winning. Now on to the shenanigans of our Odd Couple Tag Team. They'll be challenging a New Day on Raw, non-title, but then the title match will be at Hell in a Cell. Of course, we all know the story. Not getting along well. Last week, we saw Sheamus in a one-on-one match. Sheamus' partner, Cesaro, should I say, in a one-on-one match against Kofi. And Sheamus was on Facebook Live during the entire time, distracting Cesaro from the victory. And Cesaro turned the tables. He was on Facebook Live tonight, and Sheamus would take on Big E. And there was no better place than Denver, Colorado to celebrate. Yes, this is not a joke. They purposely made it possible for New Day to celebrate in Denver their 420 day as the WWE World Tag Team Champions of the world. Makes them all the same with like Christopher Daniels shirt on, because he's the one that said World Tag Team Champions of the world. Anywho, it was a fight between these two guys. Despite the off-wing shenanigans of Cesaro and also Xavier and Kofi cheering on Big E at ringside. It was a fight between the big men. With Big E going for his big suplexes, Sheamus going for Tiffany's boundary, and the Irish Coast backbreaker, going for broke kick, but he got distracted again from the outside, especially with his tag team partner. Even stealing Cesaro's phone, and he getting on Sheamus' feet. I actually saw this Cesaro feed on Facebook Live. It was like a couple seconds off from television, but it was still kind of cool to see it. I kind of saw Sheamus' Facebook Live, Sheamus' Facebook Live last week, but now I've seen Cesaro's Facebook Live this week. So with all that shenanigans, Sheamus got caught by Big E with a roll-up and 1-2-3 victory for Big E. Momentum for the New Day. And there'll be I can't believe they're having the match, a non-title match, week before the pay-per-view in Minnesota between New Day and Sheamus and Cesaro. It'll probably be Kofi and Xavier and Big E, because it'll be Kofi and Big E defending the titles at the pay-per-view. See how that goes. We could see the Odd Couple team end the long reign of New Day, but they may be going for another record. They are one of the longest reigning WWE Tag Team Champions of all time, but they might be going for another Tag Team title record. The record is currently held by Demolition. They have the most combined days as reigning champions in the single longest title reign ever. They held the WWE Tag Team Champions, I think it was like 88 to 89 they had the titles. Because it's 420 right now for New Day. 420. So Demolition had it 478 days. That was the longest reign. So that's what they're going for New Day. To have them go 480. We'll see if that happens. Now, on to our next scenario. Next matchup here. As we got the aggressive Bo Dallas in a singles match against Neville. Stemming from the match last week when they had Bo Dallas teaming up again with Curtis Axel before they were supposed to face off against Enzo and Cass. They were attacked by the club. We'll get to their little feud later on. And then Neville and Sami Zayn took their spot. And they won. So Bo Dallas won a little bit of revenge as he took on Neville thanks to the help of his so-called friend, Curtis Axel. We'll see if he's his friend any longer, especially what happened after the match. The aggressiveness of Neville matched with the aggressiveness of, more importantly, Bo Dallas. He wants to believe in Bo again. So after slight attempts to get out of the Red Arrow, great corner attempts, Neville's trying to go for it again, nearing Bo Dallas' aggressiveness with the high-flying spots, big kicks, and numerous attempts with Arrow thwarted by Bo every time. But then, all of a sudden, Neville got swept up and never got near with the roll of the dice, the finisher of Bo Dallas. 1-2-3 victory. Bo Dallas wins? Wow. Man, so Neville deserves better. Neville deserves better, and so does Sami Zayn. But I'll say it for Neville. Losing to Bo Dallas ain't as bad as Sami Zayn going to be losing to Braun Strowman. Anyway, Bo was celebrated by attacking Curtis Axel, nailing him against Barricade. So-called friends. So, But we have one friendship might be deteriorating, Jericho and Owens. One friendship's definitely up the drain, and that's Dallas and Axel. So there you go. Next matchup. Speaking of people floundering, deserve a little better. Bayley, with the women's roster on Raw aimed squarely at Charlotte and Sasha, Bayley is getting left in the shuffle to fury Dana Brooke again. I forgot to mention it during her squash match last week on my review that she did get attacked by Dana Brooke. Hence this match. I thought maybe we'd see the return of Emma tonight, because I heard she was backstage. Even though I don't like the fact that we packaging her as Emelina. I love Evil Emma! Ugh. Anywho, hoping we packaging is better than the Shining Stars. Hoping it don't come out the crickets like Shining Stars did and killed their momentum and killed any chance of them getting over. And we've seen that already tonight with their match and the crowd being dead doing it. Anywho, this match was decent. The ending, what the fuck? The ending sucked. I don't know if it was the intent. I think they botched the ending. I believe they botched the ending. Brooke came in early with moves. Like, she was decent at more point. And Bayley came back with the high-flying moves. The elbow and the springboard against the apron. But as Bayley was looking good, and trying to set up some big moves. Got the wrecking ball drop kick to Dana and trying to set up for Bayley belly. Dana took it on the outside. In the ending, I think she was trying to do like a DDT off the apron. Off the middle rope. Kind of did it well. Like, she pushed Bayley back in. It's kind of sloppy. And the referee counted. Maybe Dana was supposed to put a foot in the rope. But the referee counted. It was awkward. Dana Brooke, one of all people, over Bayley. I don't know if that was intent. Bayley was supposed to lose. Or was Dana supposed to lose. It was a weird ending. It was like a sudden ending. It was like more like a botched ending. So I was like, like a puzzling ending. So then we had a video message from Paul Heyman. Too bad Heyman or Lesnar was not in attendance tonight. They're probably going to save it for next week, which they are probably all when it comes to the response to Goldberg, whatever he says in his main event segment tonight. Goldberg, you talk about fantasy. We're challenging you methodically. You know, it's a game, man. It's 2K17. You want to live in that fantasy. And you want to go in the reality world now? You want to face Brock Lesnar again and not suck this time like it was me at 20? The choice is yours, buddy. The power is yours! Captain Planet reference, I applaud you for getting it. Anywho, on with Braun Strowman. Once again asking for more competition. More better competition. But what do we got here for Braun? More jobbies? More jobbies? Foley thinks more competition means more jobbers to destroy in one match. We had a 2-on-1 handicap match last week. And now we have a 3-on-1 handicap match against Strowman and the Mile High Trio. Do I have to say more? Got one guy got flung out of the ring like flapjack, man. Seriously. Strowman won. I'm hearing the rumor that the payoff to this is the debut of Samoa Joe. We'll see if that actually comes to fruition. But then, we had Sami Zayn come out. He does not need to fucking fight Strowman! He needs to feud with fucking Owens again for the title! Fuck putting him against Strowman! At least it's better than, like, putting a cruiserweight against Strowman, but Sami Zayn does not deserve to be squashed by Strowman! He doesn't deserve it! He and Neville both deserve better! At least it ain't Neville against Strowman, but still! Still. Both getting misused. Go to SmackDown, guys. Go to SmackDown. You'll get more opportunities. Like, if a jobber like James Ellsworth can go against AJ Styles for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship on SmackDown, then these guys can have a better chance on SmackDown than on Raw and get squashed by Strowman. Which is what's going to happen to Sammy. Probably renting when that match happens at Survivor Series. Or before then, we shall see. Or at Hell in a Cell. The pre-show. Or next week on Who Cares? On to our next segment. Involving Meet the Rusevs. And this wasn't as boring as like any other. It wasn't a comedy segment. Like Rusev had a slideshow of his real family. I thought it was his fake family, but it was his real family. With Mother Rusev, and the crowd was booing him. And like, don't boo my mother! Don't boo my dada! Papa, they're calling him Papa Rusev! Mama Rusev! Grandma, like, Banucci or something. I forgot the name that Rusev gave his grandmother. And as he was talking about his family, comparing his family to Roman's Samoan family, cue on Roman's music and the boos. But there were some people who were high on that kush in Denver that actually cheered for Roman. It was a high altitude or high on weed. There were some people cheering on Roman. And then there was smack talking, especially for their Hell in a Cell match. God, this is, ain't just saying, this will be the worst Hell in a Cell match of the bunch. We have 3 Hell in a Cell matches. It's going to be debatable about which one will be better. Owens and Rollins or Charlotte Sasha. Those will be the best 2. Flip a switch on which one you think is going to be the best. But there's no doubt about who's going to be the worst match of the Hell in a Cell. The worst Cell match of the night would definitely be Rusev and Reigns. Rusev had Reigns had a match against Bray Wyatt last year in Hell in a Cell. To me, they just went through the motions. There was just spot. It just had no flow to that match. Kind of like what this match is going to have. I'm trying to sell it. And Rusev's like, I'm going to call my family members to kick your ass. And Rusev and Roman and Reigns should have known what kind of response he was going to get when he said, who are you going to call? Ghostbusters! We're close to Halloween. So Reigns, you should have known better than to say who you're going to call. Because you know what the response is going to be. Ghostbusters. So then after that, Rusev's wife, Lana, got into Roman's face and actually slapped him. Then towards a beatdown from Rusev, nailing Reigns against the steps, bringing him back into the ring. Despite Reigns' best effort to come back from the attack, Rusev still pummeled him and put him up against the steps in the ring, blocked him in the accolade. Looking strong against Roman. So much for make Roman look strong. They made Rusev look strong to lose to Reigns at Hell in a Cell, probably. So there you go. On to our next matchup. We had Carl Anderson taking on Big Cass. Stemming from last week when the club attacked Enzo and Cass before the match they were supposed to have against Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas. So in a singles match, Enzo and Gallows went ringside. Okay, little matchup. And I hope the club was, I love both teams, so it was tough to say who was going to win. I thought Anderson was going to win because club needs momentum a little bit more than Enzo and Cass. I'm hearing they're in for a push right before WrestleMania. Maybe challenging for the titles at WrestleMania 33. That's what I'm reading from the dirt sheets. And especially the club needs a win more than anything. They looked awesome last week. You know, but the thing with inconsistency, WWE, that's the thing they have, inconsistency. That one week, one guy looks great 1 week, the next week they look like a chump. And unfortunately, that's what happened tonight, despite looking awesome in the beatdown last week against Enzo and Cass. Carl Anderson lost a one-on-one match against Big Cass after getting near with the Easter River crossing. An okay little matchup. Even Enzo got a little bit involved, taking out Gallows. But Big Cass won. I thought the club was going to beat him up after the match to redeem themselves from that loss, but they didn't. We'll see how the club recovers from this little setback. It's tough because I love both teams. I love Enzo and Cass. I love the club. But to me right now, the club needs every win and every momentum they need to come back from the bad booking against the New Day. So, So there. On to our last match before the Goldberg segment. A 6-man cruiserweight match. 6-man cruiserweight tag. We had the champ, TJP, teaming up with Cedric Alexander and Rich Swann against Drew Gulak, Tony Nese, and the #1 contender for the Cruiserweight Championship to face Mr. TJP again at Hell in a Cell. Frank, and the feud actually pretty good. The match has been good. I can't wait to see him at Hell in a Cell. And a fun little 6-man tag that was more than just more build-up added to the Kendrick TJP feud. They had a little brawl, a little interaction in the match. But Gulak looked decent. They need a little more high spotting in this matchup because they're trying to figure out what to do with the cruiserweights and how to make it work on the main roster. They need a little more high flying, a little more high spotting, make the crowd more into it, and maybe give some more interesting characters to make them relatable. They're giving TJP the video game character look, especially the theme and the video game references he's been saying, especially in the backstage interview he did with Kendrick and his partners earlier on. So despite TJP and his partners Cedric and Swann looking good with the high flying moves and Zaguris and big moves, Swann got isolated despite going for a big splash. There was a cool move from Tony Nese, a big 450 splash onto Swann, and Kendrick had himself in, and TJP wanted in. They got blocked as Swann got nailed with the bully choke, or as they call it, Captain Choke. I call it bully choke. We talked about this before. And Swann had no choice but to tap out as Kendrick was sending a big message to the Cruiserweight Champion in this fun, decent 6-man tag. Now on to the segment a lot of people are waiting for. A moment we thought we'd never see again. He said he may never step foot in a WWE ring again. He even said it in the beginning of his promo. Never say never. The man from WCW, Goldberg, returned tonight. Cole introduced them saying, the greatest champion in WCW history. That's actually debatable, my friend. Sting and Ric Flair are probably the greatest WCW champions. Some would say Sting because he was a homer and never left the company. But Goldberg's up there as one of the greatest. Not the greatest WCW champion, but one of the greatest champs in WCW history. And the reaction he got tonight is, like I said earlier, on par to the reaction Shane McMahon got for his return. Even though Shane was more of a surprise than Goldberg, it was an awesome moment. They had Goldberg walk out. He didn't have security with him, but it was like walking backstage, and you had New Day cheering him on, and it was a moment. And then, the sparklers flying, and the crowd was popping, and you heard the Goldberg chants, and Goldberg was crying, kind of like Shane was, because it was an emotional moment. It summed both guys at that moment when they both came back this year. They both thought they never would come back to WWE again, let alone in a moment. It was almost identical to Shane, because you had the holy shit chants, you had the this is awesome chants, and the Goldberg chants, like the Shane O'Mac chants. Because I was at Shane O'Mac's return live, and that was an amazing moment to be there live for Shane's return. It'd probably be the same feeling that the arena had tonight in Denver. Would have been awesome to be there too. So Goldberg grabbed the mic. He's like, "Thank you so much." He got choked up, and the crowd was chanting, and he had a good promo. Better than Reigns. I had to say that. That Goldberg's better on the microphone than Reigns. He had a good promo saying that, hey, I got called to be the WWE 2K17. Or as he said, 17 2K. 2K WWE 17. Whatever, he had him reversed, but still, it's the same game. I've been asked to be the pre-order character and promote this game all around the world. And then all of a sudden, this fantasy turned into reality when Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman challenged me. More like Paul Heyman. Because Heyman was one that challenged me, not Lesnar, letting his little bitch do it. Or his fat Italian stooge, as Goldberg said. And Goldberg's like, there was a part of me that wants to leave it be. Like, let sleeping dogs sleep. Let them lie. Leave it up. Like leave the thought alone of me coming back. But then there's a part of me that wants to give one more spear, one more jackhammer. So Lesnar, you're not only next, you're last. So that means Goldberg accepts the challenge He didn't say specifically when. There's rumors that it's going to be a Survivor Series in Toronto. Which, when Goldberg said he was asked to promote the video game, he said, I've been everywhere, to Germany, to Toronto, where Survivor Series is. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So, Lesnar is set to be on Raw next week. Too bad he wasn't there tonight. But he will be on Raw in Minneapolis, his home state, next week to have his own rebuttal to Goldberg accepting the challenge. Will it be Survivor Series? Will it be WrestleMania? Will it be Royal? Maybe not Royal Rumble because they would usurp the Royal Woman match. So we'll see when the match takes place. But it's looking like Survivor Series, but we shall see. And I hope the match does not suck like WrestleMania 20, and hopefully not as. And please, WWE, learn your lesson from SummerSlam. Don't let Lesnar be the main event. Let him be on the mid card. Because last time you had the Lesnar main event, a pay-per-view, especially a Big Four pay-per-view like SummerSlam, the ending of that pay-per-view sucked. So please, 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 if you let Lesnar Goldberg fight, especially at Survivor Series or any of the Big Four, please do not let them be the main event. Don't let them be the main event. I even said in my SummerSlam review, Brock Lesnar should not main event a pay-per-view again. Because match against Owens sucked. It was boring. The ending sucked. We don't want that to happen at Survivor Series. We want it on the mid-card, not the main event. I know we promoted it a lot. I know that's probably why it needs to be main event. But even if it's promoted a lot, that doesn't mean it deserves to be main event. Ain't that right, Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt? Miz Ziggler should have been main event of No Mercy. And if it wasn't the triple threats between AJ Styles and Cena and Ambrose, and speaking of triple threats, we got one next week. We got Jericho, Owens, and Rollins. Could be a little more dissension between the so-called besties, Jericho and Owens next week. And we got the New Day against Sheamus as all non-title match, basically giving away the Hell in a Cell match for free on Raw. And that is it for my WWE Raw review. Thank you so much for watching. With that in mind, you've all been attacked by the review from Zach. One less than a note. Goldberg left, and he had his wife and kids there, and he hugged his kid at the end. That was an awesome moment. And he was hugging the fans. It was a great moment to see Goldberg back. No matter your opinion on the Lesnar-Goldberg match, it's awesome to see Goldberg back in the WWE ring again. And a lot of my friends have been begging for this too. For a long time about Goldberg coming back, and he finally did. Tonight. And now he's going to fight Lesnar. When? We shall see. With that in mind, y'all been attacked by the review from Zach. See you later, everybody. Bye-bye.